We kick it up right now this hour with President Donald Trump slated to meet with manufacturing executives at the White House today. They're talking about what actions he can take to create jobs domestically. He'll meet with leaders from Caterpillar, United Technologies, Dana, 3M, and General Electric. That's according to Reuters. Of course, the Business Council meets this week, so likely these CEOs will then head over to talk with colleagues about the same things. Vice President Michael Pence raising Trump's commitment to keeping jobs in America just yesterday.
I'm glad to say businesses are already reacting to President Trump's Buy American, Hire American vision with optimism, investment, and a belief in our country again. Have you noticed it? I mean, from GM to U.S. Steel to IBM to so many other companies, they're already announcing their intention to keep jobs here, to create new ones, tens of thousands of them. As Ford Motor Company's chief executive put it, even before the president took his oath of office, their investments are a, quote, vote of confidence in the agenda of President Donald Trump.
Joining us right now is former Democratic presidential candidate, former governor of New Mexico, Bill Richardson. And Governor, it is good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Marie.
Well, it certainly has been a busy month with these executive orders and these anticipations of new policies coming out. How's he doing?
Well, I like what he's doing today, meeting with CEOs, keeping jobs in the U.S., but, you know, on the foreign policy front today in Mexico, our relationship with a great ally is kind of falling apart. So I'm not a fan, but I want him to succeed. But he's making it very difficult, I think, because of so many divisive issues like immigration, the deportations, the relationships with Mexico, canceling the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So, you know, today I give him credit for what he's doing to keep the offshore jobs in the U.S. I think it's going to take some incentives for these companies. I'm for that. I think if we can plow some of those taxes into infrastructure building in the United States for roads, bridges, internet, broadband, I think that's good. But it's a tricky proposition.
Is there a scenario that you see where Mexico prospers without having a relationship with the United States?
No, but both countries benefit from the relationship.
Sure,
you know,
course.
Mexico buys, they're the third biggest purchaser of U.S. goods of any country, our second biggest trading partner. So it's not just a one-way relationship. So I worry with all these immigration deportation issues, Mexico's going to say, look, we're not going to help you, U.S., when it comes to cartels, when it comes to joint security at the border. We're not going to help you on trade. We're not going to work with you. That's what worries me. This is a very important relationship that's falling apart.
Yeah.
But, Governor, these individuals, and they're obviously not just from Mexico, actually about a little less than half of the illegal immigrants coming into the U.S. are from Mexico. But it does send a message and put the burden on that nation to take care of their own people and right their own economy by saying, through deportations, and by the way, they are here illegally, by deportations, to send them back and say, these are the Mexican people, and the Mexican government needs to figure out a way to help them prosper, not us.
Well, look, Mexico needs to do more to improve their own economy, but, you know, we've got 11 million undocumented workers in the U.S. They're participating in the U.S. economy. They're strong majority are law-abiding. And now we have a deportation order where literally, you know, what Obama did, which I agreed, is you take out the national security risks, you take out the criminals. Now, you know, anybody can be deported.
Not the dreamers. They're not.
Well,
they are not going to.
But we don't know. I mean, it's all very confusing. I'm from a border state. I can tell you a lot of the undocumented workers, they feel chaotic. They're living in fear. You know, this is not America. This is not the way to handle it. I liked what, you know, George W. Bush proposed, which was tighten the border security, but find a way for a path to citizenship, legalization for these 11 million people here.
I'll just raise the issue. Yeah. Who is creating that fear? Is it people on the left? Or is it really people on the right? Who's creating that fear? Who's stirring up the message of everybody is getting deported?
Because it's wrong information.
Right.
It's just misinformation.
Well, but if you look at the new guidelines, Maria, if you are suspected, a law enforcement officer is even suspecting somebody being illegal, you know, a traffic violation, that person could be deported. You know, yes, criminals, yes. National security
Yes, they could
risk.
be deported because they're here illegally. That's the whole point,
But
Governor.
you got to be practical. What are you going to deport 11 million people? That's not America. It's not going to work. It's too
Why have
expensive.
these laws been blown off for so many years? I mean, if this has been the law of the land, how is it possible that sanctuary cities have existed? And how is it possible that governors and state representatives are just blowing off the law?
Because Republicans and Democrats have failed to act on sensible immigration reform, which is a combination of more border security, but a legalization path. Be practical for the 11 million that are here. Get the criminals out, pay back taxes, embrace American values. I think there's a path for those to be able to stay and be productive members of our society.
But we had 20 years to compromise. We've had this issue out there, and I think the American people have said, I'm so tired of the gridlock of things not happening, that Donald Trump went there and said, I'm going to throw down the gauntlet and do it. So how do we become a nation again where we're going to compromise and make things happen in a more reasonable way so that people can be confident in these kinds of things?
Well, you know, on immigration, my sense is President Trump doesn't want to compromise. He wants to deport. He wants to build a wall with Mexico. I mean, it makes no sense. People are going to go up and over the wall. It's going to cost $12 billion.
He wants to deport illegal criminals.
No, it's gone beyond that. Look at the guidelines, Maria. It's like anybody that's suspicious. I mean, they just came out yesterday. It's unexplainable.
What just came out yesterday?
The new guidelines from the Secretary of Homeland Security. You can literally deport almost anyone. It's not right.
I don't think that's true, that you could literally deport anyone. And that's, I think, what you're talking about, where there's these lines and these fear-mongering conversations happening, and that is where the misinformation is coming. I don't think that's true, Governor, that you could just deport anybody. That's not true.
I think you need to read the guidelines. Look at the reaction in Mexico. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath meeting with the Secretary of State, Tillerson, who, by the way, I was at the State Department yesterday. I think he's doing a good job, but it's an impossible task now to try to repair this very important relationship that we have.